I have a question on the Cornyn second degree.
But I have a question first.
I'm sorry, I thought you gave up the floor. Go ahead.
No, sir. Can we go ahead and vote on the bills? And then you stay, or whomever else wants to stay, to let everybody finish making their remarks in light of the fact that we have a time limit by which we have to act, and we're in the middle of a vote.
I thought I answered that by saying that I wanted to make sure that we had a consensus that we ought to do that.
There's a vote on the floor. Someone vote on this.
Can we vote?
I don't hear an objection, Mr. Chairman.
Well, I didn't hear a motion
I make that motion.
Okay.
that we vote. Excuse me, would you restate your motion?
Sure. I move that we go ahead and vote on the matters before us in light of the fact that we're under a time limit.
Clerk will call the
And-
roll.
Thank you.
No, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I think I'd just like to be recognized. I know Senator Durbin and Senator Whitehouse, who outrank me on this committee, have asked to be recognized as well to speak.
I don't want to pick a fight with Mr. Booker either, but I made a motion. Is my motion in order, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, your motion is,
Could we have a vote, Mr. Chairman? Pretty
can I
please?
have a vote? Yes, call the roll.
Thank you.
But we clarify,
debate?
without a discussion on the second degree amendment?
Don't call the roll yet.
Without discussion or debate
On the, you
on
just,
the motion?
Go ahead, sir.
I don't want to jump over the ranking member of the.
I'll defer.
Okay,
Go
so
ahead.
I'm reading that Cornyn second degree, and he said a lot of really important things about immigration that are worthy to be discussed. And I'm happy to vote on an immigration bill. I disagree with the death penalty. I will vote my conscience on this, but I want to draw everybody's attention to the first two lines of your second degree. They have nothing to do about immigration. They have nothing to do with the death penalty. I've never seen this before. His first two line is not to bring up this important issue that should be discussed, debated. Your first two lines are to strike my amendment in its entirety. So what we have right here is hidden behind real issues on immigration.
Welcome back to Liberty Trigger. Patriots, what we just witnessed in that Senate committee hearing is exactly why Americans don't trust Washington anymore. We had a simple, straightforward opportunity for the United States government to show some backbone and give the American people what they've been demanding for years: transparency on the Jeffrey Epstein files. But instead, we got political maneuvering, procedural games, and the same old protect a powerful routine. Let's break this down.
Is really just trying to not vote on the important points that we brought up about transparency and accountability on the Jeffrey Epstein files. This is not an amendment to my amendment. This is an attempt to strike what I have a whole list of prominent Republicans, elected leaders, who want the same thing I want, which is just to have transparency on this matter.
Can we vote
I've
on my
heard some of the
second degree?
comments, if I can finish, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
I have heard public statements by my Senate colleagues on both sides of the aisle. I've heard comments from Republicans on the House side and Democrats on the House side that we want transparency and accountability on a matter of public safety. Senator Cornyn said that Jeffrey Epstein's dead yet, but his victims are not. There are women who have horrific stories of vile violence that was committed against them. We have Pam Bondi, our Attorney General, who said that there is evidence, truckloads of it, as to these crimes, potential co-conspirators, potential others involved. How can we not want to just know what happened? Why are we trying to simply turn away from the highest law enforcement officers in the land, from our FBI director to our Attorney General, who spoke towards crimes committed and others involved in those crimes? Why are we considering an amendment that is hiding behind real immigration issues, but real intent is to strike a simple request for transparency, for accountability, that Republican voices all across the spectrum have been demanding from this president and this attorney general. So if Senator Cornyn is going to offer an amendment, I'm going to offer a third degree that simply strikes his first two lines. I'll vote on your immigration stuff that you so strongly stated there was the importance of this, but you hid the fact that you put here the real intention of your amendment. It has nothing to do with immigration. It says it right here in the first two lines. The real effort was just to not have accountability and transparency. What are you afraid of?
Mr. Chairman, may I respond?
Yeah, you may respond.
I trust the Senate-confirmed Attorney General of the United States to make the proper legal analysis to determine what of the Jeffrey Epstein files can be released. He was confirmed by the United States Senate as Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the United States. I trust her to make the right legal determination. But I would ask my colleague from New Jersey, you claim you care about the victims. Do you care about Tammy Nobles? Do you care about Marie Vega, the angel moms who lost their loved ones, their children, to the acts of an illegal alien who never should have been here in the first place? Do you care about them?
Can I respond to the senator's question? Sir, I've known you for 14 years. You and I both care about victims of crime. And to suggest otherwise is stunning to me.
Senator,
if I may finish, sir, I allowed you to finish.
I asked
sir,
you a question.
And I'm trying to
I didn't
answer.
make an accusation.
Mr. Chairman,
I asked you
Mr.
a
Chairman,
question.
Mr. Chairman.
Answer the question.
I should have an allowed a time to respond to the senator's question. I did not interrupt him, and now he's interrupting me.
Please.
It is another violation of the decorum of this place.
Go ahead, Senator Bolt.
Senator Cornyn, both you and I have spent our lives. I know your record. I know your history. I know what you've done. I would never, ever question whether you care about the victims of a heinous crime. You ask me if I care? Absolutely.
Thank you.
No, I'm not finished yet.
Well, thank you for answering the question.
Well, I'm going to answer the question in full. You are not sincere.
Let me explain.
Sir, he has put an amendment in.
Would you allow
trying
me,
to use the horrific nature
Would you allow me as sponsor of this bill to
Sir,
explain?
I will not pick a fight with Chuck Grassley in the same way that Chuck Grassley won't pick a fight with me.
The reason for his amendment is because your amendment says that this bill that we're working on will not go into effect until we get all these records. And this bill is an opioid bill to help solve some of the drug problems in this country. And we ought to get it passed because it's a bipartisan bill and it's very badly needed.
Sir, may I respond?
Yes.
So I said at the top of my comments, my frustrations, we've said it to your staff, we've said it to others, that when funds like this have been made available so far in the first 6 months, they're clawing back funds from my state. And that's unfair, and I would like to deal with those. We could deal with them. And given that, I am sticking to an amendment that is not controversial. Okay. I know it's not controversial, sir, because I've seen polling literally on Republican channels that the overwhelming majority of Republicans and Democrats want transparency and accountability. That the overwhelming majority of Americans has seen that one of these two things is lies. Is there truckloads full of evidence as to victims of crime not having justice? Have we been lied to? Who are we trying to protect? What are they trying to hide? This is not controversial. We have Republican leaders in Congress calling for the same thing that this amendment calls for. And so for a second degree to be offered to mine, where you're using horrific crimes to hide the real intention of this, if this amendment is so important, just strike the first two lines that strikes my entire amendment. The intention of this is clear. It's to not give the American people accountability, transparency, and truth. That's what we as the Judiciary Committee should be seeking. So I offer a third degree amendment preserving every noble thing that the senator from Texas said he wanted.
You can't offer third-degree amendment.
I can't offer a third degree. Then I asked that we strike the true intention of his amendment, the first two lines.
At this stage, you can't offer a third-degree amendment. If there's some way for you to do that, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, may I respond?
Yes.
Briefly?
Then we'll have a roll call vote, because I know you folks want to get votes on your amendment. I asked you to withdraw them, and you aren't withdrawing them. So
Well, I
go
just
ahead
want to
and
ask a question, Mr. Chairman. In your opinion, would the addition of these amendments to the underlying bipartisan bill jeopardize our ability to pass this underlying bill, anti-opioid bill, out of committee and across the Senate floor and get it enacted into law? Would these amendments jeopardize that?
I see them jeopardized in ways even beyond what you said.
So,
Because if we pass the legislation with this stuff on, it wouldn't go into effect anyway. Who knows how far down the road? When the president signs the bill, I want it to be effective.
that's what I thought, and I appreciate your answering the question. I think the debate that Senator Booker and I have is not something that's going to be resolved today. And so it will continue. So I think regardless of how we act on the underlying bill, that debate will continue, and neither he nor I are giving anything up in terms of our ability to continue to debate this topic. But I'm willing to withdraw my amendment if Senator Booker's willing to withdraw his amendment in the interest of passing this bipartisan anti-opioid bill out of the committee and through the Senate and seeing it enacted into law, and hopefully saving some lives in the process.
Senator Booker.
Mr. Grassley, sir, I have asked for someone to address my New Jersey concerns for months now. There was an incident in which you got a special carve out for your state when they froze funds, but I have got no justice for New Jersey. So if you want to postpone this and address my New Jersey concerns about the resources we are not getting, and I know you would do that with me in good faith, I would be happy in our next meeting, but right now I am sticking with my amendment.
Senator Cory Booker, yes, a Democrat, actually did something I agree with. He introduced an amendment saying, let's release the Epstein files to the public. Plain and simple. The people want the truth about who was involved, who covered it up, and what the Department of Justice is hiding. Republicans and Democrats across the country support this. No matter your politics, everyone should want those files opened. But right away, Senator Cornyn jumps in with a second-degree amendment that doesn't modify Booker's proposal. It kills it completely. Not improved, not debated, just erased. So instead of arguing the facts, Cornyn shifts the conversation. Do you care about victims of crimes committed by illegal immigrants? Now listen, I'm a conservative, and I do believe the border is a national security failure that costs innocent lives. But that has nothing to do with whether we release the Epstein files. That was a massive deflection, a way to dodge the real issue. Is Washington hiding something? And that's the question every American should be asking. If the Epstein files contain nothing damaging, if the investigations have been honest, if powerful individuals weren't protected, then just release them. But the moment someone pushes for transparency, Washington reacts like someone pulled the fire alarm. That tells you everything. Because this scandal isn't about Democrats or Republicans. It's about the powerful, across government, business, entertainment, and beyond, who do not want the public to see names, documents, travel logs, or communication trails. Leadership steps in and says, if we adopt Booker's amendment, it might jeopardize the bipartisan opioid bill. Translation: it's easier to protect the system than risk a major bill falling apart. Once again, truth is inconvenient. Justice takes a back seat. The powerful get shielded, and the American people get nothing. Finally, Booker withdraws his amendment in exchange for promises that his state's issues will be addressed later. Cornyn withdraws his, they move on, and the Epstein files remain sealed. Business as usual. And that is why Americans have lost faith in their government. When both parties fight harder to hide the truth than to reveal it, You know the problem is bigger than politics. So here's the takeaway. The Senate had a chance to force transparency. They chose political safety instead. Once again, the elites were protected, and the American people were told to stay in the dark. As a right-wing patriot, I say this. The Epstein files should be released immediately, not sealed, not delayed, not hidden behind ongoing investigations. If the government wants our trust, it starts with the truth. Patriots, drop a comment right now. Should Congress release the Epstein files publicly? Yes or a no? Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video, because the mainstream media sure isn't going to talk about it. Stay strong, stay informed, and God bless America.